Welcome to my vlog. This is dedicated to a very beautiful Kathmandu spring, and this is dedicated to an undying spirit of the Kathmandu Valley. So, welcome to the program. It's titled Bloommandu. In broad strokes, a veteran journalist used to paint a typical Nepali year into two seasons. That is the winter of discontent and the summer of unrest. That was when the winds of change were blowing again in Kathmandu after a brief period of calm and the regime of King Gyanendra was tottering. That regime was tottering with generous help from friends and well-wishers from near and afar. This categorization of the seasons is too broad a stroke in a country that takes pride in her seven uniquely beautiful seasons. The seasons are Vasanta, the spring; Grishma, the early summer; Varsha, the summer monsoon; Sharad, the early autumn; Hemanta, the late autumn; and Shishir, the winter. By the way, this broad stroke is not meant to undermine initiatives to promote Nepal as a tourist destination for all seasons, especially when all's not well with our economy. In fact, for all seasons, in all seasons, Nepal looks exceptionally beautiful. About the veteran journalist's painting skills, I don't know much. But for obvious reasons, a homo sapien of words should not get to paint things of beauty, things like seasons for public consumption, because he is sure to miss many a shade. As for words, the veteran journalist had a way with them. Now let me elaborate a bit on the veteran journalist's two-season concept. As per him, come winter, there's this rising frustration and biting cold, but no electricity. That too in a country rich in water resources. His assessment is quite right in that sense. But it's not only the cold that's biting the members of the public. Umpteen causes like the never-ending misrule, thriving corruption, the absence of the rule of law, market prices heading northwards, and living standards on a free fall have the people smoldering like the fire burning in the makkal. Makkal is a conventional coal-fired stove that is used to beat this winter chill. But it's so cold outside during the winter, the people won't hit the streets as yet. Why would they, after all? The mean pachas, the 50 days of the green winter, are so cold that even the fish catch cold. Literally, that is the belief that even the fish catch cold during winter months. Not only the people, but their elected overlords and warlords also detest the green winter. I fondly remember a particular frame from the winter of discontent. That in that frame, a firebrand politico was caught napping during a program to announce a series of protests against King Gyanendra's autocratic regime. That grab would surely have gone viral if the leader was caught, if any leader was caught in a similar act these days. The biting cold is not the only reason holding a people back, though. Letting the fire burn inside unhindered would surely propel the people into the streets, and the resulting inferno would bring down regime after regime after regime. But what good would it do? What would the laity get even if they managed to bring about yet another regime change by hitting the streets and returning injured, crippled for life, or not returning at all? Their sacrifices would bring another bunch of leaders to power. But what then? After all, this bunch would also forget popular aspirations and get neck deep into corruption. Talking about the beauty of Nepal, that it is beautiful in all seasons. Let me share with you some pictures from the spring season that is exceptionally beautiful. These pictures, most of them are from the Kathmandu Valley. Let me share with you some of the pictures. Talking about different kinds of leaders engaging in corruption and irregularities after coming to power. So let us continue. That is the reason this tendency of successive leaders getting like embroiled in corruption cases. That is the reason why the masses, despite calls from political leaders of different hues and colors, would keep off the streets. The apathy would run so deep that political parties would often pay the public handsomely for taking part in street protests, bringing them to the capital in busloads from the Mopasi, from the hinterlands of this country. But the turning point in such protests would come sooner than later. Any instance of the use of the brute police force, real or perceived, would rekindle the protests with the masses joining in spontaneously. From then on, there would be no stopping the protests without the revolution reaching its logical conclusion. I showed you just a few pictures from this summer of unrest that just gets repeated on and on every year. There is this winter of discontent and the summer of unrest that I was talking about. Okay, let us continue with this presentation. Looking back, it will be fair and square to say that a political revolution is like a river system consisting of different rivers and streams acting as contributories and distributaries. In the case of Nepal, foreign interests in general and the interest of a neighbor have always counted far more than the streams, far more than the streams of blood, sweat, toil, and tears flowing from the attending multitudes. That is the reason why things have remained much the same for the Nepali populations. In fact, they have gotten worse in some ways. This, despite several winters of discontent and several summers of unrest. While walking along the beaten paths for days on end as part of a thought process during the protests against the Millennium Challenge Corporation Compact with the United States of America, and later on, I again found how truly beautiful this city of higher ideals actually is. Walking by those blue flowers in full bloom was pure delight. We looked at those blooms for hours on end and still craved for more. And when the branches swayed at the slightest of winds and showered you with flowers, your heart swayed with pleasure. It seemed as if you were in this blue heaven. For some very learned folks, these flowers are jacaranda, and for others, they are blue mimosas. I do not know nothing about this plant kingdom. All I know is that these flowers are indescribably beautiful. They make life a bit more tolerable, even in these hard times. I have read and seen pictures of Tokyo in full bloom during the cherry blossom season. A Kathmandu in full bloom looks no less beautiful. We have given Kathmandu different names. They range from the Alakapuri, the beautiful capital of Lord Indra, to Dustmandu, a city that is full of dust. That is the meaning of this Dustmandu. It's called Dhulumandu in Kathmandu and the necropolis, so on and so forth. But one should not forget that our own images are what a city reflects. Traveling back in time, I wonder as to why on earth the veteran journalist saw just 2 seasons in this beautiful city, in this beautiful valley. Perhaps he was in a difficult station of life. He was aging, so that could be the reason that changed his perception. Between the grim winter and the sweltering summer, there always is a brief window when flowers of all sorts bloom and life seems a little more bearable despite its numerous oddities and absurdities. Well, I was talking about the oddities and absurdities of life. Let's continue with that. Revolutions may go astray, and the self styled makers of our destiny may fail us yet again, but the spring will never fail us. Let's hope and pray that the spring never fails us. In our respective rat races, we may have forgotten how beautiful this city looks. This city looks uh, during all seasons in general and the spring in particular. Like the phoenix, the city of higher ideals like arts, crafts, spirituality, harmony, and religiosity has repeatedly risen from the ashes of destruction, blooming like those blue flowers of which I shared a few pictures with you. Names like Dustmandu or Dhulumandu do not do justice to the city's never say die spirit that is powered by divinity and humanity. Even amid these blooms, exceptionally fertile minds have failed to give this city a new name, a beautiful name befitting the season. As for me, this city is and will always remain what I call Bloommandu, as this is where not only those seasonal blue flowers, but millions of dreams bloom in all seasons. So I welcome you all to Bloommandu. I request you all to cherish this beauty, this beautiful city. This city looks beautiful in all seasons. It has archaeological heritages. It has this natural beauty. So welcome to the Kathmandu Valley. You are welcome in all seasons. With this remark, I wrap up this edition of my blog. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Uh, I request you all to just promote this initiative towards citizen journalism. We are a small team. We are free from vested interests. Your subscription will enable us to be your true voice. Thank you for just watching. Thank you for listening.